You're listening to New England Real Estate Journal Radio with Rick Kaplan, New England source for commercial real estate news. This is New England Real Estate Journal Radio on the Money Matters Radio Network and online at moneymattersboston.com.
Welcome to the New England Real Estate Journal Radio Show. I'm Rick Kaplan with Eric Wilson, and we have a fantastic show today, Eric.
Fantastic, Rick. Explain it to me.
Well, I'll explain it to you. We have our guest that will come on the next part of our show, next segment of the show, Samuel Nutter. He is the Vice President of Building Performance. He's the Vice President of Building Performance Consulting for the Conservation Services Group, and he also is the President of the Association of Energy Engineers, which is putting on a big event on April 8th in Waltham. So he's going to come on and talk about the event as well as some of the things that Association of Energy Engineers does during the year. But before we get to that, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Olympics on 2024.
Oh, what are you training?
Yeah.
What are you
I
gonna
should
do?
be.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Do they do the all you can eat in the Olympics? Is that an Olympic event yet?
The pie contest. Yeah.
You gotta get, what's his name? Is it what's his name? Yoshi something, right?
Oh,
Kobayashi. Rick's gonna give Kobayashi.
but that's the hot dog.
That's the hot
eating
dog.
guy?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I'll be competing, Eric. You know, I do have a small appetite. You know. No,
For a whale.
All right, we can stop with all that already. You know.
Oh,
We're
sorry.
talking about the.
I thought this was a fantastic show.
Yeah, well, as long as we're not talking about me. The Boston 2024 Olympics, they're trying to get a bid to bring it to Boston.
Sweet.
John Fish from Suffolk Construction is the head of that drive, and it hasn't been going, I guess, well so far. You know, it sounds like there's a lot of pushback from the general public. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they really want to put out a bid. But, you know, the good thing about that, I think it would be a great thing to bring to Boston.
Yeah, why not? We're a very prominent city.
Yeah, the only thing I feel, and I said this earlier,
Traffic.
is the infrastructure is really not built for it. And I'm not sure if they could get it to a point where it could handle that load of traffic through public transportation or even from private transportation.
Yeah,
in time.
The good news is that if it does go through, there's more jobs. It helps, an economic boost, tourism money. Those are all benefits.
Right. So that brings up another subject: is the developments of the hotels that they've been building in the city. They've been doing quite a bit.
Isn't there? In order to even have the Olympics, don't you have to have a certain amount of hotel space in order
you have to have a
accommodate?
certain amount of rooms.
Cameo appearance here.
Yeah,
Just
right.
saying. But you guys could have you guys could talk about the Olympics from a commercial real estate standpoint, literally for the next 2 years.
Yeah,
correct.
We will.
You could.
We will be.
I think that it is all part of commercial because
It's all
there's
development.
so many things that have to be put together to put this event on. Not just temporary structures, but there's also going to be permanent structures that will have to go up.
How much money do people have? They can obviously go back to Brazil and go back to Barcelona and look and see what kind of returns they got on hosting one of these things. I wonder what.
I don't think they're too pretty for a
I
while.
was going to say I don't think so either. So I think that's why they're getting a lot of the pushback.
But the return is great as far as for the businesses, the restaurants, the hotels, things like that. They make incredible.
Yeah, but it's you and I who pay this.
It's the tax dollars that aren't beneficial.
Well,
But now what they're saying in this having it in Boston is that they are going to use a lot of the existing structures that are already there. Mm-hmm. And I have no objection at all if they have a way of improving the infrastructure so you can get in and out of the city during this event.
yeah.
because afterwards it would be like
Unless they plan on
like
widening
heaven.
the roads in the city's been the same way since the 1600s. It's not.
I know.
Do
You
not
guys,
change
you
it.
guys have some pull in this town with the real estate developers. Why don't we just have full transparency? What is this going to cost the taxpayer? Right? Let's just put it out there. What's the worst case scenario that you need me to pay? Because at the end of the day, the Olympics being in Boston, that's pretty damn cool.
Yeah,
I don't
it
care.
is.
All this negative. This is this is so Boston-like, right?
Yeah.
There's 3 cities in the running for the bid. And everyone says, oh, there's no way Boston doesn't get it because we're the best. We're a world-class city. Colleges everywhere, hospitals, this, that. We better get it. Then we get it. And then what happens? Everyone is so pissed off at the idea that we're going to have it. You can't win in this city.
Never.
You
Yeah,
can't win.
It's funny
Can't win in the
because I've been
Northeast.
trying to get John Fish on the show. I've called Marty Walsh's office, the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
None of them want to come and talk about this, and I haven't heard any of them talk about it on any show yet.
Oh, no, the no people are everywhere, though.
Yeah,
They
they're
are.
everywhere, but they're not talking publicly about anything on this.
Yes. No, I agree.
So I mean, there's something that is hidden.
So if they're going to have to update the commuter rails, the MBTA, all that stuff, right? We just saw how bad it can be with what we currently have. I'll spend that taxpayer money to bring the Olympics if that means enhancing the MBTA.
Correct. I
Yeah, me
agree
too.
with that. I
Why
That's
agree
a
with
good
that.
point.
You know, just put it out there. What's the worst case scenario? Let's move on. You know?
That's right. I mean, that's all
100%
they
of
have
your
to
funds.
I told somebody today, I said at the end of the day, people are saying, no, I don't want the Olympics. But when they go to actually cast their vote and no one's looking over their shoulder and they don't have to talk at a cocktail party, they will vote in favor of bringing the Olympics because at the end of the day, it's pretty damn cool.
It is, and I don't know
It
why
is.
they're hiding so much.
Yeah.
It should be very transparent.
I mean, they look like they're trying to get out there a little bit more ahead of this now, but it's because they've been forced
Well, it's
to.
coming close, and the Olympics also is saying we don't want to host. We don't want our host to be in a city that doesn't really want us there.
Yeah. You got to remember, it's easy for them, and I'm not trying to criticize, it's easy for them to come out now when the referendum isn't going to be out for 20 months.
Right.
So we're talking millions of advertising dollars that will be being spent from all over the place to convince you, I, Eric, everyone that this is the right thing to do.
Yeah,
Right.
So they have 20 months to do that.
that's true.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're only in the organization of the bid right now. There's such an early process
Yeah.
that, you know.
I want the Winter Olympics. Screw the Summer Olympics.
Yeah.
Come on.
Hey, we can do that
I'll be
now.
honest with
We
you, I don't even like- I don't-
probably have enough snow for the last
they
month
can
of
ski
summer.
right down
After
it.
February,
Yeah.
I don't even like the word
You
winter.
can ski right down the sea line. It's fine.
That's true.
I just can't wait. Once we get grass again.
Well, see, next time we're going to have a complete show, and we'll have Dave on as a
by the way,
guest.
that was our producer,
You're
Dave
welcome.
Cullen.
You're welcome.
For those who didn't know who the guest speaker
Not just
was.
to YouTube, but to everyone else. You're welcome.
That's right. Hey, Corey, you got a picture of Dave? We need a picture of Dave for our YouTube show.
Yeah, I'll sign whatever autographs you need later.
I think you just take
what's
the picture
going
of the Grinch. That works.
Well, before we go to a break, I want to thank our sponsors of the show. Procon Construction, City of Marlborough, Mass., City of Hartford, Connecticut, City of Rochester, New Hampshire, and Comstack and Video Doorman. Also, events that are coming up. The MedEd Facilities Show Conference and Exhibits, April 7th and 8th at the Seaport Hotel. We have the Help Conference, that's April 13th and 14th at the Seaport Waterfront Hotel. And we have NERJ, Cocktails and Conversation, Northern New England at the Harbor Events and Conference Center on April 23rd. That is a must go to. You have to go.
Right.
June 4th, the Connecticut Business Expo, put on by the Hartford Business Journal. Our show will be there as well. June 17th at the Boston Convention Center, NABFM 2015. And we'll be right back on Money Matters Radio Network.
The next level in commercial real estate. This is New England Real Estate Radio on the Money Matters Radio Network and online at moneymattersboston.com.
Commercial real estate can be a risky endeavor if you don't have all the information you need to make an educated decision. Why spend time digging for data when CompStack provides investors, lenders, and landlords accurate lease comps for office, industrial, and retail properties, starting rents, concessions, and more in just a few clicks? The world's largest investors and lenders use CompStack to benchmark their properties and underwrite their deals. Shouldn't you? CompStack. Better data, better deals. Visit getleasecomps.com today.
Rick Kaplan on the Money Matters Radio Network and online at moneymattersboston.com.
And we're back on New England Real Estate Journal Radio. I'm Rick Kaplan with Eric Wilson. And we have on the phone with us is Samuel Nutter. He is the Vice President, Building Performance Consulting for Conservation Services Group, also the President of Association of Energy Engineers of New England. Good morning, Samuel.
Good morning, Rick.
Or should I say Sam?
You can call me Sam. It's fine.
Okay, we're good friends.
We're already good friends. Let's make it happen.
Well, the Association of Energy Engineers has a big event coming up on April 8th.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about that show?
Sure. So the Association of Energy Engineers New England chapter will be hosting our 5th annual Energy Products and Services show on Wednesday, April 8th, from 3 p.m. till 7:30 p.m. The event will be at the Embassy Suites Hotel at 550 Winter Street in Waltham. And we'll be featuring 6 workshops that on a variety of energy efficiency topics that will be eligible for continuing education unit credits for those who need those to keep their certifications up to date. And we also have, so far we have 37 companies that will be exhibiting in a trade show format their products and services.
Now, this show goes from what time?
3 p.m. until 7:30 p.m.
Okay, 3 p.m. to 7:30, and anyone that does attend and goes to the seminars, they will get, be entitled to credits.
Yeah, they'll get the continuing education credits. Many licenses and certifications require that we have continuing education to maintain our credentials, both within the Association of Energy Engineers and other trade associations. So we'll be offering those continuing education credits as part of the seminars.
Sam, could you tell me, for the Association of Energy Engineers, who do you guys first bring into your association? Who are your members? And tell us a little bit of history of the Association of Energy Engineers.
Sure. The association, it's actually an international association that was founded about 35 years ago. It's based in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm not sure of the international head count, but it's in excess of 10,000 members as far as I know. We're the New England chapter, so we represent the members for 5 New England states. There's also a Connecticut chapter that covers Connecticut. But we cover the other 5 New England states. And we've got about 830 members in the 5 New England states. Probably about half, or a little more than half of those, are in Massachusetts. It's a trade association of people who are in the energy efficiency and energy procurement industries primarily. Mm-hmm. So people who do energy efficiency projects or manage facilities and are interested in energy efficiency or energy procurement, the larger facilities where they buy energy and via long-term contracts, those sort of things. So our members tend to be either engineers or consultants that provide services for energy efficiency or energy procurement, or people who manage large facilities, hospitals, colleges, manufacturing plants, etc. And we also have quite a few of our members are employees of utility companies that typically are in the energy efficiency departments or the procurement departments of the utilities.
So, Sam, some of the speakers that you'll be having at the event, probably also we'll talk towards the end. What are some of the topics they will be talking about the event on April 8th?
We've got 6 seminars lined up. There'll be 1 hour each. So we've got 2 going concurrently from 3:30 till 4:30. One of those is a seminar presented by Rob Morrow, who's with the White Group, and it's a The topic is the Massachusetts Department of Energy Resources Building Asset Rating Pilot. So in that seminar, people will learn about what building asset rating means. It's a way, sort of like getting a miles per gallon rating on your car. It's getting a miles per gallon rating, or the equivalent type of rating for your building. And the state energy office is running a pilot program to get that up and running and test it out. So Rob will be running a seminar on that topic.
Now, can they do that on existing buildings, or is that on a new project?
Either. That's the purpose of the pilot, is to try it out on existing buildings primarily, but they can certainly do it for new buildings as well.
Okay.
The asset rating concept, just like a miles per gallon rating, how they say your actual mileage may vary. Well, it's the same on a building. Depending upon how they operate the building, the actual energy consumption can vary. So the asset rating looks at the facility, the asset itself, and rates how efficient it should be if operated under typical circumstances.
Now, this show, I know you have speakers, so you have 6 seminars. Is there a trade show that goes with it where vendors can, like a product showcase or something?
Sure, yes. There are. We so far have 37 vendors signed up. These are our Association of Energy Engineer New England sponsors. We're a nonprofit organization, and we have a variety of fundraising events to cover our costs. And one of them is that we have sponsors that support us. So this show gives our sponsors an opportunity to highlight their products or services. We have 37 signed up so far. We've got a number of controls vendors, people who sell or service controls for building automation systems. Mm-hmm. We've got several vendors that provide equipment, HVAC equipment, windows, lighting systems, boilers.
Any of the utilities going to be there?
Yes, they won't be exhibiting per se, but I think I mentioned earlier, a number of our members are employees of the utility companies, and the local utilities, Eversource and National Grid, are sponsors of AEE New England, and they will have representatives there.
So now you were talking about the first seminar that was on the rating of how much usage, I guess.
Asset rating.
Yes.
Yeah. So other speakers will be coming in after that for the different seminars?
Yes, we have 6 lined up. There'll be 3 time slots, 2 running concurrently. So the other one running at the 3:30 time slot is High Efficiency Transformers Retrofit. That's a seminar that'll be presented by Chris Pimentel from from Powersmith. So every building, of course, has electricity, and one part of the electric system that most people aren't particularly familiar with are the transformers that are in the utility rooms. And just like you can get high-efficiency lighting or high-efficiency boilers, there are high-efficiency transformers available. So Chris will be talking about opportunities for facility owners to retrofit their transformers within their buildings or their campuses if they have a larger facility, with high-efficiency transformers and how much energy, how much electricity they can save by doing that. The second round of seminars will be from 5 o'clock till 6 o'clock. We have also 2 running concurrently then. One is how to identify and analyze refrigeration energy-saving opportunities. That will be presented by Emery Schweghofer. He's with National Resource Management. Many facilities that have commercial kitchens or retail refrigeration opportunities can save tremendous amounts of electricity if they have their systems optimized. So Emery will talk about opportunities in the commercial refrigeration area. The concurrent 5 o'clock seminar is lighting control systems. That will be presented by Ray Urban from Goody Clancy Associates. Lighting is one of the larger energy users in most commercial facilities, and generally some of the best savings opportunities are associated with lighting projects because lighting is such a predominant energy use. And one strategy is to control the lights with things such as occupancy sensors or daylight sensors or motion sensors, those sort of things, so that you don't have lights on in rooms that are vacant, or that you can dim lights or turn them off when there's plenty of sunshine coming in through the windows and in offices around the perimeter of a building. So Ray will talk about those sort of strategies. Then from 6:30 to 7:30, we have 2 other seminars running concurrently. The first one is Advanced Building Performance Diagnostics. That will be presented by Sam Deptula from B2Q Associates. Building diagnostics is just like you might go for an annual physical to your doctor, have them, check you out, make sure everything's working properly. It's the same idea with building diagnostics, is to basically give your building a checkup and make sure everything's working properly. And then finally, the last seminar is Low Ambient Heating and Cooling with Variable Refrigerant Flow. That's kind of a geeky, wonky title for us energy engineers, but for this topic, they'll be talking about some new technologies. Chris Ouellette from Mitsubishi Electric will be talking about using what are often called ductless heat pumps, which is a high-efficiency electricity option for heating and cooling that's become very popular. Gives building designers and systems designers a lot more opportunities to balance the heating and cooling within a building. Often on particularly the spring and fall months, you might have the north side of the building needs heat and the south side of the building needs cooling, and a variable refrigerant flow system is a good way to be able to balance those loads within a building.
So, Sam, this sounds like it would be a good show. It's not just for the like electricians and engineers, also for property management and
that's what I was
facility
thinking, too.
management.
Facility managers seems like they'd have to go to all those seminars.
Absolutely, we're targeting building owners, facility managers, facility management companies, energy managers. They can all benefit from these.
I mean, a lot of
seminars.
a lot of the stuff you're talking about it sounds a little foreign to me because I'm not from the industry.
Because it was English.
But I'm sure our listeners they know exactly what you're talking about. And now, so for facility management or property management companies or people that are in that industry, would they get credits in there? Do they get credits for LEED? I'm not sure.
Well, if someone was designing a LEED building or a green building, high performing building, certainly one of the areas that they need to demonstrate that it's an advanced building is energy efficiency. So certainly all of the topics in the seminars, as well as most of the products and services being offered by the exhibitors, can help a building owner, whether they're building a new building or want to improve the performance of an existing building, earn those energy efficiency credits or points if they are trying to achieve LEED or LEED Silver, LEED Platinum, one of those credentials.
Sam, we've talked for about 13, 14 minutes now, and I've yet to hear the word solar. I didn't hear anything about anybody talking about solar. Is there anything to do with solar, whether it be like solar roofs, I know that there's all these different type of new garden roofs and things like that for energy efficiency. Is anybody talking about that there, or is anybody be exhibiting something toward that?
A few of our exhibitors are full-service energy services companies that provide, virtually anything depending upon the needs of the client, and that could certainly include solar. We don't have any companies currently on the exhibitors list that are strictly solar providers, but certainly our sponsoring utility partners support the deployment of solar on buildings in the New England states. The utilities have been very supportive, and the energy service companies, and as I mentioned, there's several that will be exhibiting, including Amoresco, going down the list here, Horizon Energy Services, the company I work for, Conservation Services Group, Energy and Resource Solutions, Sebesta Blumberg, which is an engineering firm.
So quite a few
Any
will
of those
tackle
firms
that.
can provide services related to solar, even though none of us are specifically solar companies. We all tend to be more diversified or offer a broad array of services.
So basically, everyone can sort of design their own custom type of energy saving program for each project. Oh, that's probably
correct. One of the buzzwords in the industry in recent years has been whole building evaluation or building performance, high performance buildings. Those are some of the buzzwords. And in general, the concept is that there's not a silver bullet that will get you a LEED building or a high performance building. That you really need to look comprehensively at the entire building and all the different systems. So most of our exhibitors that provide those sort of services can evaluate a building and give the facility manager or the property owner sort of an a la carte menu of options. And solar certainly is one of the options, but it's not necessarily the first thing you'll want to do. Often it could be lighting or boiler controls or other measures that might be more cost effective to do first. Or you can do a comprehensive project and include a variety of energy efficiency and renewable energy measures all at once.
Well, Sam, we have to go to a break. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about what you do, conservation at Conservation Services Group. I want to find a little bit about what a building performance consultant, what your job would entail.
Okay.
But right now, we'll be right back on Money Matters Radio Network.
Rick Kaplan and Eric Wilson, right here on the Money Matters Radio Network and online at moneymattersboston.com.
Listen, are you living in a condo or co-op? Do you have difficulty receiving deliveries from UPS, FedEx, or your pharmacy when you're not home? Well, there's a solution. Video Doorman. It's a security system with live on-call operators for condos and co-ops that receives packages when you're out, stores them in a safe package room, and then notifies you about your delivery. They can even handle dry cleaning, pickup, and delivery. But there's more. If you come home late at night and don't feel safe, just press the Video Doorman key fob, and the Video Doorman operator will greet you by name and escort you right up to your floor. He can see you and speak to you and handle any potential problem. And Video Doorman costs only about $1 a day. Call Video Doorman at 888-697-3630 or visit videodoorman.com to receive a free building evaluation. That number again is 888-697-3630. Call now, feel safer, and never miss a delivery again.
New England Real Estate Journal Radio.
And we're back on New England Real Estate Journal Radio. I'm Rick Kaplan with Eric Wilson, and we have on the phone with us is Sam Nutter. He is the Vice President of Building Performance. He's a Vice President with Building Performance Consulting, and he's with Conservation Services Group. It's an awful long title to get out.
I think the vice president and the building performance consulting are both titles, and then he works for Conservation Services Group.
Yeah, that's
There you go.
that
I
makes
don't think it's vice president of building performance
yeah,
consulting.
vice president Building Performance Consulting.
It's a comma, not an of.
Well-
You're welcome, Rick. It wouldn't be a New England Real Estate Journal radio show if we didn't make fun of your reading.
Well, now that we have your title down, Sam, tell us a little bit what a vice president of building did I say of?
Yeah, you did.
Vice president Building Performance Consulting does.
Sure, Rick. Well, Conservation Services Group, or CSG, we love acronyms in this business.
That's
for
true.
obvious reasons. So CSG is a energy efficiency service provider that's been in business for about 31 years. We've got offices in 22 states. We're headquartered here in Westboro, Massachusetts. The division that I run within CSG is the Building Performance Consulting team, and we provide services to facilities, facility managers, building owners, property developers. Those services include energy auditing. We provide design support and consultation services. If they're building or renovating a building, we can help review the design and plans to make sure it's as energy efficient as possible within their budget. We provide high efficiency or green building certification services. So if they want to achieve one of the LEED certifications for their building or similar, Energy Star, Green Globes, Built Green, there's a variety of certifications out there. We can provide those third-party consulting services to get them through that process and earn their green certification. We also do commissioning and retro-commissioning and in-field, in-process construction inspections, those sort of things. My role with the team is I lead the team and I lead the business development efforts for our group.
So do you work closely with the USGBC?
Yes, I'm a lead accredited professional as our I think we've got 7 lead accredited professionals on our team here in Westboro. And we're active with the USGBC, with the Northeast Sustainable Energy Association.
Nessie.
I'm active with Association of Energy Engineers and ASHRAE. So we have we're active in a variety of trade associations, all of which tend to have an energy efficiency or high performance building focus.
And obviously, all projects that are going on have that focus. We see
We
that
like-
99% of them.
Well, we like to think most of them are.
Yeah.
I have a question. How long have you been doing this, business performance consulting?
Well, I've been in this industry my whole career. This current role with CSG, I've actually only had this role since the first of the year for about 3 months. But the CSG, this division has been in place for about 6 years at CSG.
And how did you get into it? What was your transfer from what to business performance consulting? Were you before in the construction side, the engineering side?
Yeah, I've been in energy efficiency and renewable energy. I've been with CSG about 6 years. So
Okay.
prior to taking on this current role at CSG, I was doing overall business development for the company. I covered the Northeast region for our entire suite of business lines. As of the first of the year, I've been tasked with focusing on building performance consulting. It's a growing business line for us. We're expanding into some of our other markets. We've got a strong presence here in Westboro, and we're growing in the New York City market and the Pacific Northwest initially, and then hope to expand into the Chicago area next year.
Nice. I have a weird question. It's kind of out of the blue. Energy efficiency, and we continually making what we used to do more efficient now and more reusable energy and and everything's recycled. Will there be a cap to this movement? Will it be at one point where everything's just zero energy efficiency and everything's perfect? And then at that point, where do we go? Or is there something new that's going to come along?
What kind of world you live in, Eric?
Well,
Perfect?
Well, I'm just thinking like with the buildings the way they are, and we're building for the future now, as you can see in Boston and New York and Hartford with all these new constructions that will be going on, and everyone's trying to go toward to be LEED certified. And at the end, I think with the push that we have from the people and how aware we are with our carbon footprint and the global change in climate, that I assume that in the next 200 years we're going to push that way for everything to be that way. So does it get capped out?
That's the goal, but we've got a long way to go. As far as the improvements, it's amazing. Like I said, I've been in this industry my whole career, over 30 years, and it's amazing that it seems like a new technology comes out. Continually, they're improving the performance, and we've had just in the lighting area alone. I got my start 30-some years ago, focused on lighting, and we've gone through at least 4 or 5 major revolutions in lighting efficiency upgrades in that time frame, where people who replaced their lighting 30 years ago could have done it another 3 or 4 times because the improvements have gotten so much better. Now the latest technology is LED lighting is the rage. But as far as when will we ever be done, in many ways we've only scratched the surface. We've done a lot more in Massachusetts and New England than other parts of the country. But even here, only a fraction of the buildings have the latest, most efficient technology. So we still have a long way to go.
Well, technology changes so frequently that I don't know if it's ever going to be.
Well, the reason I ask is because I compare everything to the cell phone. When the first cell phone first came out, you had a backpack attached to it, and the idea was that we're going to continually go smaller, 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 and then we realized how big video was for the mobile phone, that now the screens are getting bigger and bigger and bigger again. So we're literally gone to the cap, and now we're changing back due to new technology. Is that the kind of thing we'll have here with the LEED energy? I know that we're going for LEED, but will the standards change in 20 years due to technology?
Well, the building codes are certainly have changed over time, so that a new building built today, even if it's just built to the energy code, is more efficient than one that was built 10 or 20 years ago, because the code is more stringent. But the cutting edge in the industry is to go way beyond code, to get a designation like LEED Platinum, or even better than that, zero net energy, which is the cutting edge of the movement these days. A zero net energy building is so efficient and has solar or some other renewable generation on site that over the course of the year, its net consumption from the utility grid is zero.
Right.
So it generates as much electricity as it uses. And there are a number of buildings already in Massachusetts, commercial buildings that have been built that meet that standard. So that's the direction that the industry is going. But today there's maybe a half a dozen in the state of Massachusetts that can, and maybe a couple dozen homes that can meet that standard. So with several million buildings in the state, we have a long way to go if that's the ultimate goal.
Well, my theory is that with 3D printing, this process will be sped up. Will be sped up quite a bit because of now you can produce a building in half the time that you would normally, and you can change and instead of redeveloping, it'll probably be less expensive. And we've seen that. That they already have produced a 5-story building in China.
In China, they knocked it out in like 24 hours.
Right. So.
Yeah, I would say, obviously we talk about technology and advancing. I mean, they're talking about nanotechnology and all these other new things that we come across. I was just wondering, I know that net zero is the goal for everyone that's aspiring to be lead. But how many people are actually aspiring to go lead? That's really, I guess, what my question is. Is everyone doing this? Is every new building going to be lead that goes up, or are people still not doing lead?
Certainly not everyone. There are places in the country where the local regulations are pushing the envelope a little farther. Boston being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
A new building in Boston has to be LEED certifiable. In other words, they have to design it and build it so that it could be LEED certified, but they don't require them to go that extra step to hire a company such as ours to go through the certification process. But Boston is sort of at the cutting edge. There's about a dozen cities around the country that have similar ordinances, but again, that's just it's more than one, but it's not all of them. So
it seems to me like it doesn't make any sense. It's like saying I'm going to hire some drivers and they don't have to go get their license.
Yeah, but we also have had guests on that have had tenants that are driving them.
That's what I was going to say. Is
to
the public
change.
the next person? Is the public going to be the one that makes the push to get everyone to jump on this board?
Well,
Is this something that goes to bill? Do you pass it? I mean, it doesn't make sense. If you have the best of the best, why would you not achieve that for everything? It's like if you have surgery now and you have this robot that can cut into you, are you still going to go back to using some guy's hands? No. Why would you do that?
Yeah, but it also goes down to cost.
Yeah, but cost can't be for the future. You can't think about cost in the future. All buildings should be going LEED. Am I crazy for thinking that, Sam?
Yeah, cost.
there's a lot of people who would agree with you, but
they must be liberals.
Certainly a lot of people who they're focusing on first cost. So that's the
but isn't that
challenge that we have in the industry is to try to show how we can build high performance buildings that don't cost more than just standard buildings, and it can be done. Mm-hmm. And in some cases, you can actually even save money with some of the high performance features.
Right, over time.
Right, and over time, over the lifetime, if you look at the life cycle cost of a building, a high performance building will be much less expensive to operate because it's so much more efficient.
Right, and it doesn't make sense to me when people talk about that because the building could be around 200 years. Time isn't. You can't measure cost.
Yeah, but the original investor is not going to be.
Well, yeah, but he's usually passing it down through his family. That's what they do,
maybe.
or through REITs and trusts and all those things. And so, when you buy a building, I don't think I've ever heard of anyone saying, "Yeah, this is a 6-month flip," because it just doesn't happen that way.
Well, I mean, in some cases that's true, but that
you'd think in an investment such as buying a building with more than 4 floors that you would want it to be LEED so that you can be energy efficient because it's going to last for the next 100 years. That's what I would assume.
Yeah. In the early years of LEED, most of the projects were buildings that were owned by the occupants. So institutional buildings or non-profits that or environmental organizations, et cetera. So they weren't looking at cost as much as the long term. Mm-hmm. In recent years, there's been a lot more private developers that are building commercial buildings, on speculation that are embracing LEED. So the industry has definitely swung from the environmentally focused. We're building our own owner-occupied, headquarters kind of structures was the predominant LEED project in the early years. So today it's across the board. It's just about every building type you can think of. There are examples of LEED.
Now, Sam, if someone is interested and they want to find out more about how they could,
they should be. They won't need to get a LEED.
So they want to take their project or their existing building, and they want to find out how they can save or how they can make it LEED approved. How would they get a hold of you?
Well, they can reach me at the office at 508-365-3068, or email is sam.nutter, that's Nutter, at csgrp.com.
And that's the Conservation Services Group.
I have one question before we go. Do people mess your last name up quite a bit, Nutter? I would assume with the cookie Nutter butter, it was pretty popular.
Yeah, I've heard that a couple times.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I would just assume when you spelt it out, I was assuming that some people may spell it with D's when you say it and pronounce it, but I would assume with the cookie,
That's true.
most people go right to there.
We have an office in Philadelphia. When I go to Philadelphia, nobody confuses it because the mayor down there is Michael Nutter.
Oh, right. Well, that makes it easier.
You related?
But if I could, before we cut off, get a plug-in for the,
Of course.
the AEE New England show.
Yeah.
Again, it's Wednesday, April 8th from 3 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at the Embassy Suites Hotel, 550 Winter Street in Waltham. And if anyone wants to register or get more information, they can go to the AEE New England website. That's aeenewengland.org. And go to the meeting tab on our website, and you can register for the show there. There is a small registration fee, which basically covers the food. In addition to the seminars and the exhibits, there'll be a buffet dinner and hors d'oeuvres available. I encourage anyone to attend. It's open to the public, not just to our members. And it'd be a great opportunity for facility managers, property owners, and developers to learn more about how to make their properties more energy efficient.
And there'll be seminars, an expo, and a buffet.
Yeah, no,
And a buffet.
yeah, that's a big sales point right there.
I mean, we go to those just for the buffet.
Yeah, right. We really appreciate you coming on, Sam, talking to us about the AE of New England chapter as well as Conservation Services Group.
I'm glad I could join your show. Thank you, Rick and Eric. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Sam. And that was Sam Nutter from the Vice President, Building Performance Consulting of Conservation Services Group. And we'll be right back on Money Matters Radio Network.
Rick Kaplan is right here on the Money Matters Radio Network.
And we're back on New England Real Estate Journal Radio. I'm Rick Kaplan with Eric Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We learned a little bit about energy with Sam Nutter, the last segment. But
it's funny. I love them when we talk about things like that, but it's almost like when you talk to a doctor and they start naming off all the electrical equipment they use, and you're just like, I'm lost at this point. When he was naming off half the seminars, I'm gone. You're talking about machines and things like that.
And, I'm sure a lot of the facility and property managers.
Oh, they get it. Yeah, they know it.
Well,
yeah.
they might not even know the
Maybe.
terms of all that stuff because, how many of them actually go in and work on any of those?
No, they usually just oversee and manage and have,
right, so they have someone
that come in. Yeah.
They just know in that room there's a bunch of these big electrical things.
Right. But it's funny. I'm always trying to pick out keywords so I can kind of context clue my own information together from when I don't understand what he's talking about. But
actually, Sam did a good job of making it so it was very understandable for a layman.
He was going to say, he definitely laymaned it up for us.
Energy, measuring the energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he definitely laymaned it up for us.
Yeah, so that was good.
What do they call it, dumbing it down?
Yeah, he dumbed it down.
And we appreciate that because,
we need dumb stuff
they
dumbed
do
down.
say
Al's office.
If you can't explain it to a fool, then you don't know the subject that well.
Hey, very good.
Yeah,
very good. We forgot to talk about at the beginning of the show is the Long Island Bridge.
Yeah, it broke down.
Well, it didn't break down.
Oh.
It's been breaking down for many years.
Oh.
They finally demolished it. They took
got rid
it down.
of it. So here's the question: how do you get to and from with the bridge gone? Do they
Well, you can't now.
So now,
The only way would be by boat.
So now you can't go there for 2 or 3 years until it's fixed.
Well, hopefully they can get it done by 2 or 3 years.
So that whole island might be locked off to the people.
Yeah, they used to bring a lot of homeless people to that island.
For what?
They had a facility there.
Oh, okay.
I
thought you were going to talk about that.
I think there was also a drug rehab there.
Oh.
But that bridge was unsafe for many years.
Really?
It should have been torn down many years
And we just kept driving over it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I used to go under that bridge with my boat, and you could actually see through the bridge. Yeah.
Nice.
Some of the potholes were just so torn up that they
So
rotted.
they demolished it on Monday.
Yeah.
Now it's
Now
gone.
they're trying to figure out where they're going to come up with the money to rebuild it.
Whoa, so they demolished it, and now they figure out.
Right now they got to figure out where they're going to come up with the money to rebuild
typical.
it. And now they're putting out, off bids.
Mm-hmm. But it is the biggest, and it's the only bridge that was going to the biggest island in the harbor, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's no other bridges that go to any of the islands in the harbor.
Yeah, that's it. That was the only one.
But
So
they
now
have
it's
to
all by
rebuild
boat.
it because
Yeah.
they have a structure on there that was useful.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why they haven't repaired that over the years, but they never did.
All
But,
right,
one of
that's big news for us here in Boston.
Yeah.
Especially coming with the summer, and a lot of people like to go to those islands.
one of the things that I couldn't understand, though, on this was that to bring the bridge down, the demolition contract with the lowest out of 7 bids at $20.6 million.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that when they demolish it, it's not like they just go, hey, it's not like, what do you call it, the True Lies movie where they just blow the bridge up and they just watch it go into the water. I'm sure they have to go clean all that concrete out and all the debris that comes with that. Just the removal from the water alone was probably $18 million. Blowing some stuff up with dynamite can't be that much money. I mean, we do it all the time.
Right. I mean, that's why I don't understand why it would be that much to dredge all
clean-
that
it's gotta
stuff
be
up. And
What? Then you got to ship it, the gas to get it out of there in a tank. It's probably really expensive.
Yeah.
Anything in the water is expensive. You know why? Because there's no oxygen in there.
Yeah.
So there's life is on the line.
Yeah, but
Every
it's,
time you
yeah,
gotta
but
go in
it's
the
not
water,
that it's
especially
that
underneath.
deep over there that they can't just pick the, have cranes that pick the stuff up. They dredge the areas. They have equipment that does that type of work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They should have called me.
Yeah, you have a guy. You always
I
have
have
a
a
guy.
guy that
Rick's
could
got a
be.
guy who would have gone out there and scuba
Don't worry
gear.
about it.
He
We'll
would've
make that. We'll take care of that.
He would have scuba geared that thing out on his back for. Would have taken the 3 years to do it, as well as the bridge is being done.
That's right.
But before, obviously, if anyone didn't hear in the beginning of the show today, April 2nd, we're doing the Iron State House tour in Massachusetts again this year. Make sure you go to ironboston.org, sign up. You get to take a nice little tour of the State House. You possibly get to meet the governor, and then we'll go to Cheers and we'll have some fun after. So hopefully we'll see y'all there.
They're going to Cheers again.
Going to Cheers. I
that
believe
was
it's
pretty-
Cheers. I may have just spoken out of turn, but
yeah.
I assume it's Cheers because that's where we go before. But now it looks like I'm lying. It's not. It's at the Scholars American Bistro.
Oh, see, there you go.
It's a good thing I read.
Yeah.
But yeah, last year we went to Cheers, but this year we won't. We'll go to Scholars.
And because we're running short of time. April 23rd,
Yep,
Cocktails and Conversations in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
we'll see you there.
Don't forget about it. Register now. And
Yeah, we're less than a month away.
that's right. Only a
Couple
little
weeks.
over a month.
Yeah, no less
Oh, yeah, less than a month.
because today's
Okay.
the 25th.
That's true.
You're welcome.
And this deal is done.